So I'm going to give you a breakdown of what I'm doing to maintain the physique that you saw in the thumbnail. We're sitting about just under 77 kg this morning, maybe 13% or so body fat, not mega lean, and I'm actually going to tighten up just a little bit, but I'll give you just typically what I do within 24 hours to keep this level of a physique. So we'll talk training, nutrition, output, which will break down cardio and steps, recovery, supplements, and most importantly, what you probably want to hear, the day-to-day routine, what I do at certain times, just how I live a day in my life. So let's first talk about training. Very recently, I've moved from a 5-day split to a 4-day split for two reasons. Number one is to prioritize recovery, but the other reason is to give some more attention to boxing. It's something that I've been doing for around about a year now. But I've just started to take it more and more serious. One of the Gorilla Platoon coaches, Joe, that you would have seen, very good at boxing, good level teacher as well, and I've learned a lot from him. So we've just been taking it more serious because I'm all for growing, keeping the physique looking athletic. It's all about the athlete lifestyle. It's what we speak about on the channel. But I also like boxing and the idea that you can defend yourself, you're strong, and this was always something I'd done on and off throughout my time in the paras, but not enough, and now I just want to take it even more serious. It's something I've grown at, and I find there's more personal development that can be done in that. So the 4-day split I run with is push-pull legs, then a rest day, and then I hit upper. And with the upper session, I'm going in there with real focus, where it's 2 chest, 2 back, top set, back off set. And I've spoke about this in videos around this one. So we'll go in 1 set 6 to 10, next set will be 12 to 15. You drop the load by 20%, but you're going in there with raw intensity. You move as much as you possibly can. I've been training for a long period of time, so I know how to train with accuracy and with good intensity. And then you're into arms, delts, so 2 bicep, 2 tricep, and some side delts as well. And that's the 4-day split I'm running. Sometimes I'll hit it where it'll be 2 sessions, 1 rest, another 2 sessions, 2 rest, with obviously the cardio coming after the last gym session, as in one very specific boxing day with a bit more intensity, either sparring or just hard, heavy work. And then the other 2 days I'll box on the same day in which I do gym, but it'll be more technical stuff. So that's really all I'm doing for cardio at the minute. Mainly just boxing 3 times a week. Obviously it's quite intense, it's quite hard, and you burn a lot more calories than what you do in just steady state stuff. So that's what I'm doing, but more because I've not got a specific goal that I'm aiming towards. So I'm not trying to rip off body fat, and I'm being very precise with the cardio I'm doing because it's not necessary at this minute. So that's what I'm doing for training. In terms of output, we've spoke about cardio that I'm doing is all coming from boxing 3 times per week. My step count is only pretty high. I get around 15k every day. I just walk. I've always said steps are goated in the realm of keeping you lean and dropping body fat. Some of you just don't have the time to do so, and that's where the challenge comes in. I have the time, or I'll make the time, because I'm relatively boring. If I'm not living the athlete lifestyle, I'm not really doing much else. And also what I've started to put inside the routine is an hour of sunlight a day. So for me, I'll make sure I go out down the beach, walk top off, get that hour on my body, but simultaneously I can't just really sit in the sun because I get bored. And I could read, but I prefer to read where it's inside and it's quiet. So I like to just walk around. So that's what I'm doing for output. For nutrition, I'm eating 3,400 calories on a training day, and on a non-training day, it sits around 2,950. Meal 1 will comprise of 5 eggs, 250 beef, and some spinach. Meal 2 will be more like a yogurt meal, so it'll be 300 yogurt, kiwis, raisins, dates, and I believe that's it in that meal. Pre-gym meal, oats. Obviously, I love oats on this channel. You'll terrorize me for it. Apple and banana. Evening meal then is beef, sweet potato, 450 grams, beef 250, 5 eggs and some spinach. And then last meal of the day, yogurt, 25 grams of Brazil nuts, some dates, and another kiwi. So all coming from whole foods, to be honest. High protein in the morning and in the evenings. Around in the midday, more carbs, so I can hit some good solid sessions as well. Although to be fair, it's carbs 450 in the evening later on anyway. So there's plenty of those going down range. That's what I'm doing for nutrition. On a non-training day, you can just expect that the meals are smaller, and I don't eat the oats meal, so that brings that down for the usual calorie amounts. That's what I'm training output and feeding for nutrition. In terms of recovery and supplements, the supplements I take are every night religiously. I'll take magnesium before bed, about 500 milligrams. I've discovered we need, as human beings, we need around 400. And unless you're eating certain diets, like it's not that dense in that many foods. So a lot of you will be under. So I would say supplement magnesium. I've always slept like a baby, to be honest, and that just really even enhances that. I also take vitamin D, 10,000 IUs every day, just so I'm well up on that. And I always ensure I get some good quality sunlight, both 10 to 15 minutes in the morning. As soon as I've woken up, that's when I'll journal. We'll come on to routine in a second. And then, an hour a day when the sun is like up at a good point. So they're the supplements I take, not many. Obviously creatine as well, actually, and BCA in and around the workout. You saw that on the vlog style video where I was back in the gym after 3 weeks out, after we had laser eye surgery and got a new nutsack and a hair transplant, but now we're all back in, good to go. You'll see the growth of that soon. You can't really tell because I didn't shave my head and I've always had this haircut anyway, but yeah, it should be kind of cool when that grows out. I can go a little bit shorter and mix it up again. So that'd be nice. So that's how we run in our supplements for recovery. So I take recovery on 3 stages. You've got in the session recovery, and the way I manage that is I'll rest for as long as I need to for my heart rate to come back down. Rule of thumb on compound exercises, we're talking 2 to 3 minutes, isolation 90 seconds. So plenty of rest so that the work you can do in the gym is effective. You're able to really strike. Every set is there as a needle moving set to make you do something you've never done before. That's what you want to be doing. So plenty of rest inside the gym. Rest days from the gym, I have 2 complete rest days. Today is actually one of those where I'll have 2 complete rest days. Like only steps gets done, no cardio, no gym, no nothing. And this is something I've had to discipline myself to do. But in the same way, in the micro of sets, to make the set so effective, you want to rest enough so that you can hit it well, because you'll train hard, or you're as hard as you can mentally, but your body could have done more had you have rested. So what I like to do from the gym is now I discipline myself to do no cardio, no boxing, no gym for 2 straight days so I can rest and recover well. I'll see how I get on with that. I might even try and push it a bit more, because what you can do is if you're training every day, you just do a lot of like all right stuff. You don't do enough to really push it, but because you're doing it daily, that's all you can do. So really what we don't want to reduce is the overall quantity, so the quality can be very high of the work, because that's what really matters in the gym, quality work, your ability to train hard, get out there and recover. We recover, we grow when we recover. So that's what I'm doing for the day to day. And then in the evenings, like for me, a minimum like 8.5 hours of sleep. I'll normally be asleep by 10, and then I'll be up at around 6:40 seems to be the sweet spot. I know every day this week that's been pretty much my circadian rhythm, and I always make sure I go to bed and get up in and around the same time within like a 20-minute period. It is quite important to make sure that you are getting up and going to bed at the same time, as well as obviously the duration and the quality. It's a big thing on sleep, but to be honest, it's so important. Like, the reason I stay lean is because people that are well rested are more insulin sensitive. People that have had poor night's sleep the next day are going to be more insulin resistant. Insulin resistant or insulin sensitive is really talking about how efficient your body is at eating carbs and then partition out the nutrients to be stored in glycogen in the muscle. Glycogen is then used for what? Anaerobic training. So we know sleep is important for that. Sleep is also important for producing testosterone. As we well know, it's important. So like, you want more T, sleep as much as you possibly can to get that. It just sounds obvious to me. And obviously you're going to grow when you sleep as well. So like, if you're doing all this work in the gym, you've got to be sleeping well, because look at it like this: you've broken down, dug yourself a certain hole, and the only way that hole can be filled in by sleep. But you need to have slept enough hours to completely fill the hole in. Otherwise, you'll always have this deficit. And what's that? I say that's wasted gains and wasted potential. So you need to get your sleep back in to harvest those gains that you've worked so hard for. Now, the last thing I'll speak about is how I structure a 24-hour period. So for me, I'll get up around 6:30, 6:40. Straight away, I'll use the bathroom and I'll weigh myself, log and record my scale. I've done that every day, no matter what phase I'm in, for probably around 3 or 4 years. I've always known my scale weight. Then jump in a cold shower, because I find, some people don't really rate it. I do. I find I feel quite electric when I come out the other end of it. So doesn't need to be long, like a minute, in, out, job done. I'll then have 750 mils of water with an electrolyte in, and then I'll go onto the balcony and just sit and get the sunlight in my eyes. Once I've got the sunlight in my eyes for around 10 minutes, I'll probably be journaling, and all I really do is I just wake up, 3 things I'm grateful for, and I keep them nice and simple. Like half the time I'm saying I'm grateful because people watch the YouTube videos and become members of the Gorilla Platoon. And then I'll write like what needs to get done for the day. So everyone's got a plan of attack for that given day. And then I'll have coffee, and then it's like straight into work. Normally it's straight into a YouTube video, first and foremost, as we know we turn up daily. And I do like to film one each day, and having give like insights and concepts and things that I've learned along the way. So that'll be the first thing I do. Then it's into check-ins for the members, making sure they're making progress, and then we'll have meal 1 about 9ish. It's high fat, high protein. The reason I structure it like that is I need to be cognitively sharp when I'm A, speaking on camera, and B, when I'm making changes or decisions for my members. So I don't have carbs yet, because I do find carbs just slow my brain down a little bit. Plus, I've always found it better training mid-afternoon is the sweet spot for me. A bit later is not great, but okay. First thing in the morning for me, if I train first thing in the morning, I'm just not as effective cognitively later in the day. Whereas I'm never going to skip the gym if it's later in the day, and I'm never going to sissy out on it anyway. So I prefer to get my work done first. Then I'll have a carb meal, finish the last little bits of work, maybe some shallow tasks, then get off to the gym. Get off to the gym, do the gym, and you know what? If some days I come back and it's been a hard leg session, I might even throw in a sleep. And I found if you fight trying to sleep and do cognitive work, the work's not that effective. Whereas if you just get straight in it after a shower, quick 20 minutes, I'm back, I'm good to go again. So sometimes I found actually, you can push off like a little afternoon nap, but sometimes I've actually found it really useful. Now, I don't do it every day, I just do it as and when. Like last week, there was no need for it, which my sleep was pretty rock solid last week, so maybe that's a reflection of you don't need an afternoon nap if your sleep's in a really good space. From there, from the rest of the afternoon, there may be another block of check-ins that I'll go into just so I can get ahead of the work. And then from there, it's really just learning. So I like to read, or I like to go through information about physique transformation, physique development. I say a lot on this channel, like here's what we did, here's the result we got, so I can teach it you, because that's my practices, that's my findings from digesting the literature and then put that in there. I don't ever just recite literature back to you from what I've learned. I don't go, right, I learned this from this study and this is what it says, because it's cool and it's nice and it's someone professional that's done that, but this is my channel where I've digested the information, synthesized it, and then put it out into a way in which people, members inside my community, will understand and apply. Because I say all the time, I could give you the tactics, I could just shuttle the ChatGPT tactics to you, but that's not really what you need. What you need is somebody that can digest it and give it into a way that your mindset can be changed. The reason we get the consistent results we do, we're literally pushing out 2 every week, is because we're able to get the minds right first. I can't stress this enough. You want to get your mindset right first. When you get your mindset right, your habits will fall into that because you'll structure a good routine for your day. Then when your routine's structured, that's a system. You're not just following I hope this goes well. No, you've got a system in place, and I'm giving you my daily system in order to get the results that I do. So let's say now, what time are we on here? We're on probably about 5ish, 6ish. I'll have had a meal, and then I'll go out and walk. And while I'm walking, I'll listen to something that's going to benefit me. In between this, I live with both of the Gorilla Platoon coaches, so we'll chat about things, we'll terrorize each other, we'll shadow box each other in the kitchen, and slap each other around and all that sort of stuff, because that's what we do. And then from there, it's time to chill out, and then in for bed. And I normally just try and keep my day as simple as possible. Hard rule: stay off socials first thing in the morning, unless you're watching my videos. I'm joking. Even then, push it back to later on in the day and digest the info later on in the day. Because for me, if I can do that, you don't want to dysregulate your brain, your functioning, the rhythm of your day. Whereas if you go on socials, it's going to dysregulate because you're taking in information rather than actually doing what you need to do. So for me, I find I'm effective where phone literally stays in the other room when I wake up, turn the alarm off, log my scale weight on my phone, boom, put that away, and then we're into the work. And I find that to be a serious life hack. Probably started doing that maybe about 2 years ago, and very, very useful. So that's what I'm doing within a 24-hour period, how I'm maintaining the physique and also my mindset as well. Good books to read that I like to digest are Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, I believe. That's probably one of the main catalysts behind like how I've got the results we have. It talks about the self-image and how you see yourself, and you're almost just reacting out your younger self and your child and all your traumas and challenges. But we want to fix those and believe that you don't have to be this character. You can develop a new self-image, and this is one of the first lectures members will watch when they join us inside the Gorilla Platoon. And in fact, do you know what? We've created I wanted to like create another portal where it's our premium education at a very good rate. So you can check that out in the second link in the description. Actually, it's pretty much built now for the first phase anyway, the fat loss phase. And the reason I made that is members who've watched the channel have got good results just from watching the channel. I thought, well, if I can make a sequence of events, you're not going to get lost in all the other videos. Plus, I can put deeper topic and mindset stuff I can't say on YouTube in there as well. So check that out in the second link in the description if it's for you. Great. And if you want to get more closer to me and actually, go through this transformation yourself with me, specifically guiding you through, that'll be the first thing in the description to get our link in the description to get our one-to-one coaching with you as well. So that's how I'm living a 24-hour period. That's how I'm maintaining the physique, my mindset, nutrition, and just general good health. I forgot to mention actually, I said it about 3 times, but in the middle of the day before I train, I'll go out and get some steps in. I'll normally do that after the first carb meal. So go out and walk, get some sunlight and get some steps in, come back, a little bit of shallow task, then I'll have the pre-workout, then get to gym. So gym for me is probably 2-ish. It's normally about the time I end up in the gym with most work done. So that's how I run my day anyway. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow.